I'm Tom Clark, and welcome to our premiere video of MCAA's Safety Advantage. In just a short time, you will be noticing a change to what has been termed material safety data sheets. These will be transitioning over the next year and a half to a new format known as safety data sheets and a program known as the Globally Harmonized System. This transition is being done to make chemical labeling and SDSs standardized the world over. What do you need to know as a user of this new system? There are several areas you need to be concerned with. The first is the label elements. Product identifier. This can be, but is not limited to, the chemical name and code or batch number. Supplier identification. This is the complete detail on the chemical manufacturer, distributor, and/or importer that is supplying the chemical. Precautionary statements. These are the phrases that describe recommended steps that should be taken to minimize or prevent adverse effects from exposure to the hazardous chemical, improper storage of the chemical, and/or handling of the chemical. Hazard pictograms. The pictograms utilized on the label will always be a square set at a point. The frame of the square is always red, and the hazard symbol will be in black with a white background. There are 8 pictograms you must know. They are health hazard, flame, exclamation mark, gas cylinder, corrosion, exploding bomb, flame over circle, and skull and crossbones. There is a 9th optional pictogram not required of OSHA, but a pictogram that may be seen called the Environment Program. There may be more than one pictogram on a label if there are multiple hazards. Signal words. There are only 2 signal words, and they advise of the severity of the chemical. The 2 words are warning and danger. Danger is the more severe hazard. There will only be 1 signal word on the label, even if there is more than 1 hazard. If there is 1 hazard that warrants the danger label, the label will have the word danger on it. The only time the word warning would be used is if all the hazards were not severe. Hazard statement. The hazard statement will describe the nature of the hazard. For example, it could state, causes damage to the kidneys through prolonged or repeated exposure when absorbed through the skin. In other words, they are saying, keep it off your skin, and if it gets on your skin, get it off quickly. Supplemental information. This gives important information on how to use, weight, lot number and fill, and expiration dates. You may ask, how would I use these labels? Well, I'm happy you asked. These labels will give you information on how you may properly store materials. For example, if you see the flame pictogram, you should never store that product near an open flame. The labels will also help you quickly locate information on first aid when needed by employees or emergency personnel. It is also important to understand how the different parts of the label work together. When a chemical has multiple hazards, you will see multiple pictograms. When there are similar precautionary statements, the one providing the most protective information will be the one included on the label. In addition to the label, you also need to be familiar with the safety data sheets, formerly known as MSDS forms. These sheets are divided into 16 different sections, and each section has vitally important information that will be listed consistently from sheet to sheet. The 16 sections include the following. Section 1, Identification, which includes the product identifier, manufacturer or distributor name, address, phone number, emergency phone number, recommended use, and restrictions on use. Section 2, Hazards Identification, includes all hazards regarding the chemical and required label elements. Section 3, Composition, with information on ingredients, which includes information on chemical ingredients and trade secret claims. Section 4, First Aid Measures, which includes important symptoms, effects, acute, delayed, and required treatment. Section 5, Firefighting Measures, which lists suitable extinguishing techniques, equipment, and chemical hazards from fire. Section 6, Accidental Release Measures, which lists emergency procedures, protective equipment, proper methods of containment, and cleanup. Section 7, Handling and Storage, which lists precautions for safe handling and storage, including incompatibilities. Section 8, Exposure Controls, Personal Protection, which lists OSHA's permissible exposure limits, PELs, threshold limit values, TLVs, appropriate engineering controls, and personal protective equipment, or PPE. Section 9, Physical and Chemical Properties, which lists the chemical's characteristics. Section 10, Stability and Reactivity, which lists the chemical stability and possibility of hazardous reactions. Section 11, Toxicological Information, which includes routes of exposure, related symptoms, acute and chronic effects, and numerical measures of toxicity. The following sections appear on the sheets but are not enforced by OSHA as other agencies regulate this information. Section 12, Ecological Information. Section 13, Disposal Considerations. Section 14, Transport Information. Section 15, Regulatory Information. Section 16, Other Information, which includes the date of preparation or last revision. It is important to note that the label in SDS must always reflect the same information on a particular topic. In other words, the label must not give conflicting information than what is provided in the SDS. You now have a basic understanding of the new GHS system. Please make sure you have an opportunity to review the 2 OSHA fact sheets on this topic. They contain more detail on the system than was supplied in this short video. Thank you for watching.